Ryan, Pinehurst #2, North Carolina. Have you played this baby before?
I played a long time ago when I was an amateur, just after the redo, and I remember it being very hard then. And at least my memory was correct. It's going to be pretty tough this week after playing 9 holes today.
Yeah, Graham Agar has said that he loves it. He reckons it's one of the most beautiful, best courses ever.
Yeah, I can see that. It is spectacular. It's got a cool feel about it. I mean, it's through the pines. It's got all the sort of native grasses around as runoffs. It's just off the fairways. It's very penal if you miss it, and then it's got some great visuals around the greens. Basically all the greens have big runoffs and deep bunkers, and it tests every part of your game, and it's definitely one of the best golf courses in the world.
So once again, it's going to be a precision player tournament, isn't it? You got to hit every shot perfect.
Yeah. The one thing for a US Open, it's probably relatively wide off the tee in comparison to some other courses. So it does give you a little bit of room off the tee, but it takes it away very quickly around the greens. The greens are quite big, but they play very, very small, because if you miss your targets, it runs off, and it runs a long way off the greens. And you can end up in some pretty horrible spots after hitting a relatively good shot. And just off the fairways, even though they are wide, the native grasses they've got there, there's a lot of luck involved. You could hit it in there and get extremely lucky and have a shot, or you could hit it in there and be literally struggle to chip it out sideways. And it's, as I said, it tests every part of your game, and it's going to get firm and fast by the end of this week, and I expect most of us to get beaten up.
Amateur golfers' revenge, mate. It can make you look really like a real clown, can't it? The best golfers in the world, and all of a sudden you can shoot three over, triple bogeys and quadruple bogeys.
Yeah, look, I remember watching in 2014 here, and when Martin Keimer won, and that's all it was. I think guys were struggling to make birdies. It was just a grind the whole week, and we had a lot of rain last night, which softened the golf course, so we might get away with it for the first couple of days. But I expect come Saturday, Sunday, this place is going to be really fiery, and a good score is going to be even par.
What kind of temperature, weather-wise, are you playing in? Short sleeves, obviously.
Yeah, it's in the 30, between 25 and 35 for the rest of the week, I think. So I've heard the weekend.
Yeah.
The weekend's going to be quite hot, I think. I heard it's going to get to sort of 95-ish Fahrenheit, which I think is close enough to 35 degrees, which is, that's a little nasty. Today was great. Today was sort of mid-20s and sunny and not a lot of breeze. So, I think it's just going to get hotter and hotter throughout the week, and which makes the golf course get firmer and firmer throughout the week.
Ryan Fox, we're ahead of the US Open, kicking off on Friday, New Zealand time, of course. Okay, you played 9 today. Was that 1 through 9, or was it 10 through 18?
I played the back 9 today, so it's sort of, practice rounds take a while out there. I think I played the back 9 in 3 hours. You just got to hit so many shots around the greens just to kind of figure out where the best place to miss it is, and you're going to miss a lot of greens this week. So it's going to be one of those weeks where I'm just going to play sort of 9-9-9 and try to stay relatively fresh. If you play 18 out there, being out on the golf course for 6 hours and grinding is a pretty long time with all the other stuff you have to do. So it's kind of nice just to play 9 a day and keep energy levels up.
So a dumb question for you, sorry, but when you get to practice like that, do you actually have to play a proper round, or are you allowed to go, okay, I'm going to take 7 different shots at this particular shot?
No, it's definitely the latter.
Okay.
And I've probably become more guilty of it over here because practice rounds are so slow, and that's what guys do. So instead of having to wait all the time in a practice round, you just go, well, I'm going to hit a few more chips and a few more putts around the greens and see how it all goes. In Europe, I was generally if I play with someone, let's play a match and actually, play properly to an extent. But that's also having played a lot of the courses multiple times, and not really having to figure anything out about how to play them. Over here it's definitely a little bit different in that respect. It's hit a lot of shots around the greens and hit a few shots into the greens and stuff. It's taking a little bit more to figure out new golf courses.
Ryan, what have you learned about yourself this year, just in terms of the emotional, the mental side of it? Because you've had big ups and downs. You've actually got to play the weekend at both majors, which was excellent. Your form and at the Canadian Open was superb, and then the real lows in that. So trying to balance all of that out without even adding in, obviously the family, the travel, and when we spoke last time, just the different environment that the States is in. What are you learning?
I mean, it's probably nothing new in that respect. I've been through a bunch of it before, but probably learned that the golf game's never as far away as you think it is. At times this year, I thought it was miles away, and it's turned around really quickly. And as I said, I've been through that stuff before, but you kind of, I've had such a good couple of years. It's really easy to forget about the tough times, and I've had a few of those tough times this year, and I probably didn't handle them as well as I could have. And again, going forward, I've just got to remember that it's not as far away as you think it is. It's not all as grim and as bleak, and there's not, you don't need to sweat the small stuff as much. That I am a good golfer. It's in there somewhere, and it's not going to disappear for a whole year. I will find it eventually, and thankfully I found it sooner rather than later. In the last those last sort of 6 to 8 weeks, I've started to play a lot better, which is nice.
Yeah, and so just how you are as a person when you come home at night, how much does that alter things, or are you able to completely divorce what goes on the course from when you get home? Like, I mean, because I'm just asking this question from a normal human perspective. If we have a bad day at work, all of us arrive home a little grumpy.
No, yeah, look, it's definitely been hard to do that. Look, I've got the kids on the road, so in one respect it's easy, but in another respect I feel like I don't get any downtime. Trying to get them to bed and
Yep.
do all the packing and traveling and stuff like that. So if you're a little bit down on the golf course and you're a bit stressed out about things, the off course stuff was quite stressful as well. So in that respect, it kind of added to it a little bit, but I definitely prefer it that way than the other way, where if you're in a hotel room by yourself, you've kind of got nothing else to think about but golf, and that that can definitely do your head in pretty quickly.
Yeah, because you said last time that you felt a bit lonely sometimes on tour and stuff like that. And look, I'm always stunned, and I think people will be as well, as that a guy like you can have doubts. God, you've had so much success. You're such a brilliant player. You've earned a shitload of money doing it. You get ranked really well in the world. You play in the majors. Even you can have doubts.
Yeah, look, I think that's natural as a human, to be honest. I think it's natural in sport. You go through the ups and downs, and I guarantee all of the best sports people have gone through patches where they didn't believe they were good enough, or things weren't going quite right, and it's tough. And I think in sport in general, it's so cutthroat and the margins are so small. It's really easy to get that way too. You might not be doing a lot wrong, but at the top level of sport, everyone is so good, and it's hard to compete if you're a little bit off, and that I think that can affect you mentally.